Do you know what it means to be a source of hope for someone's future? Las Vegas, Nevada. April 23rd, 1956. 10:45 p.m. New Frontier Hotel. Showroom. Stage lights come on. A young man walks out. 21 years old, thin, nervous, hair slicked back with gel. Elvis Presley, his first Las Vegas show, the biggest chance of his life. But there's a problem, a big problem. The crowd is wrong, completely wrong, 300 people, but none of them young, all over 50. Tuxedos, diamond necklaces, styled hair, Vegas's old guard, people who came to hear Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, soft and romantic music enthusiasts. Elvis takes the microphone, tries to smile. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." Cold silence begins. Elvis holds his guitar, plays the first chord. Heartbreak Hotel starts. But the music is fast and hard. Rock and roll. The audience is shocked. Elvis sings, moves his hips, shakes his legs, full of energy. But the crowd is frozen. Some look at each other, some raise their eyebrows. A man whispers to his wife, "What is this?" Elvis sees what's happening, feels it, but he continues. Because he has to continue. Second song starts, faster, louder. Blue suede shoes, and now, sounds come, negative sounds. "Too loud. Is this music? Kid, calm down." Elvis's face changes, his smile disappears, his hands tremble. Third song. Hound dog. Elvis gives everything, holds the microphone, spins around the stage, drops to his knees, and then the audience starts booing. "Enough! Get out of here! Go home, kid!" A man stands up, walks out. His wife follows, then another couple, then another. Within 10 minutes, 50 people leave, exit the room. Elvis sees, each one, but he finishes the song because he can't abandon his professionalism, because he can't give up. Last note. Song ends, no applause, just silence, and a few people still whispering. Elvis slowly puts down the microphone, his voice sad. "Thank you," he says. He walks to the back of the stage, curtains close. Backstage, everyone is silent, stage crew watching, waiters whispering. The hotel manager, Mr. Kingsley, approaches Elvis, his face tense. "Elvis, can we talk for a minute?" Elvis raises his head, his eyes red. "Yes, sir." "Listen, kid, you're talented. I know that. But Vegas isn't your place. This crowd, the crowd doesn't understand you." "I know," Elvis says, in a whisper. "You have a 2-week contract, but maybe we should end it early. It would be better for you." Elvis bows his head. "I understand." The manager pats his shoulder. "I'm sorry, kid, but this isn't your fault. Just wrong timing." The manager leaves. Elvis is left alone. He sits down, puts his hands to his face, and cries, quietly but deeply. Because this isn't just a bad night. This is the death of his dreams. Elvis's biggest dream was to perform in Vegas, big stages, success. And now a failure, in front of everyone. "Maybe my mother was right," he whispers to himself. "Maybe I should drive trucks. Music isn't for me." 10 minutes pass, Elvis still sitting, not moving. Then he hears a sound, from far away, from the bar. Music, live music, someone playing piano, someone singing. Elvis is curious, stands up, walks down the corridor, looks at the bar, and sees a man in a tuxedo, very relaxed, sitting at the piano, singing. "Ain't that a kick in the head?" Dean Martin. Elvis freezes, because Dean Martin is one of Elvis's heroes. He listened to Dean Martin on the radio, watched his movies, and now Dean is here, 10 meters away. Dean finishes the song, bar customers applaud. Dean smiles, sips his whiskey, but then Dean pauses, hears something. In the corridor, waiters are talking. "Poor kid, Elvis, total disaster. Yeah, they're gonna fire him. Young kids, they don't understand Vegas." Dean raises his eyebrows, makes eye contact with the bartender. "Who's this Elvis?" The bartender answers. "New singer, Mr. Martin. Rock and roll kid. But Vegas didn't like him. He's backstage now, probably crying." Dean nods, finishes his whiskey, stands up. Where are you going? The bartender asks. Just a minute, Dean says. I need to say hello to someone. Dean walks down the corridor, enters the backstage area, sees Elvis, sitting in the corner, head bowed. Dean approaches. Hello? Elvis lifts his head, his eyes swollen, then sees Dean and is shocked. Dean Martin, he whispers. You're Dean Martin. Dean smiles. Last time I checked, yes. I'm a fan of yours, Elvis says, standing up. I know all your songs. I've heard your songs too, Dean says. On the radio. Heartbreak Hotel. Beautiful song. Elvis bows his head. Thank you, but I think Vegas doesn't like me. They don't understand you, Dean says. There's a difference. Elvis raises his head. What do you mean? Dean sits next to Elvis. Listen, I've been in this business for 15 years, and I learned something. Every city, every crowd is different. Vegas is old, conservative. They love Frank Sinatra. They love me, because we're a safe harbor, a type they know. But you're new, different, and different scares people. Elvis listens. So am I bad? No, Dean says. You're early. Vegas's time for you hasn't come yet, but it will. In 10 years, this city will call you back. And then, you'll be the king. Elvis wipes his eyes. Do you really believe that? I believe it, Dean says, because I see you're talented. I see your passion. And these things don't lie. A silence falls, Elvis thinks. Then Dean stands up. Come on. Where? To the stage. Elvis is surprised. What? No, I can't go back on stage. You're not alone, Dean says. You're coming with me. But why? Dean smiles. Because tonight won't end with you. Tonight is a lesson. Elvis is confused, but he stands up. Because Dean Martin says so. And you don't say no to Dean Martin. 2 minutes later, the stage manager is surprised. Mr. Martin, you're going on stage? Yes, Dean says, and Elvis is coming with me. But Elvis's show is over. Now our show is starting, Dean says. Open the curtain. The manager hesitates, but you don't say no to Dean Martin. He opens the curtain. Stage lights come on. The crowd goes quiet. Because Dean Martin is walking on stage. Tuxedo, smile, charm. And behind him, Elvis Presley. The crowd is surprised. A few people applaud. Dean Martin. Dean takes the microphone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having fun. Applause. Real applause. I know, Dean says. Tonight you watched a slightly different show. A young kid, Elvis Presley. And I think some of you were surprised. A few people laugh, embarrassed. I understand, Dean says. I was surprised at first, too. Because he doesn't sing like me. Doesn't sing like Frank. He's different. Silence. The good kind of silence. But you know what? Dean looks at Elvis. Being different isn't bad. Being different is a sign of courage. Dean turns back to the crowd. This kid came here, 21 years old, and he sang for you, put his heart in it, put his soul in it, and you booed him. The crowd feels uncomfortable. A few people bow their heads. But I'll tell you something, Dean says. In 10 years, your grandchildren will ask you, Grandpa, did you ever see Elvis Presley? And you'll say, yes, I saw him on his first night in Las Vegas, and he was amazing. Dean turns to Elvis. Right, Elvis? Elvis smiles, shy. I hope I will be, Mr. Martin. Call me Dean, Dean says. Call me Dean, because tonight we're friends. Dean looks at the orchestra leader. Now we're going to play a song, but a different song, a song in Elvis's style. Which song? The orchestra leader asks. Dean looks at Elvis. You choose. Elvis is surprised. Me? You. Which song do you want to sing? Elvis thinks, then smiles. That's Amore, your song. Dean raises his eyebrows. Are you serious? Yes, but not in your style. In my style. Dean laughs, real laughter. Okay, show me. The music starts. That's Amore, but slow, classic. Dean sings, first 2 lines, soft, romantic. Then Elvis takes over, and changes everything, speeds up the tempo, raises his voice, makes it rock and roll. The crowd is surprised, but then they laugh, the good kind of laughter. Dean joins in, two voices, one old, one new, creating harmony. Elvis spins around the stage. Dean watches him, both laughing. The song ends. Final note, and then applause. Real applause, standing ovation, 300 people, all standing, all applauding. Elvis can't believe it. His eyes fill up, his mouth open. Dean pats his shoulder. See, you just needed to tell it right. Elvis hugs Dean, on stage, in front of everyone. Thank you, he whispers. You saved my life. I didn't save your life, Dean says. I just reminded you who you are. Curtain closes, applause still continuing. Backstage, the hotel manager comes running. Mr. Martin, this was incredible. Elvis, you were amazing. Elvis smiles. For the first time tonight, he really smiles. Contract, the manager says. Elvis, your contract will continue. 2 weeks, every night. Really? Elvis says. Really, but with one condition. Elvis's smile fades. What condition? Every night, you have to sing your last song with Dean. People love this. Dean laughs. No problem, I'm in. Elvis looks at Dean. Will you really do it? 2 weeks, Dean says. Then you're on your own. Elvis nods. Deal. That night, after the show, Dean and Elvis sit at the hotel bar. 2 whiskeys, one young, one old. Dean, Elvis says, what you did today, I'll never forget. Don't forget, Dean says. But remember, not just for me, for someone else. What do you mean? Dean looks at Elvis. One day, you'll be on top, successful, famous, and one day, a young musician will fail, just like you. And then you'll walk over and help him. Elvis thinks. Promise, if that day comes, I'll help. Promise. I promise, Elvis says. Dean smiles, finishes his whiskey, stands up. Where are you going? Elvis asks. Home. I need to sleep. Tomorrow night, I'm going on stage for you again. Dean, wait. Dean stops. Elvis takes something from his pocket. An envelope. This is my earnings tonight. $200, not much, but for you. Dean doesn't take the envelope. Why are you giving it? Because you spent time for me, went on stage, helped me. This is at least... Dean pushes the envelope back. Elvis, listen to me. I didn't do this for that. Not for money. I did it for you. But... Dean puts his hand on Elvis's shoulder. But nothing? Keep your money, spend it, buy a new guitar, rent studio time, invest in your dream. But how can I thank you? And Dean does something shocking. He takes out his own envelope from his pocket. His earnings from that night. $500. Gives it to Elvis. Elvis can't believe it. What? No, I can't take... You will, Dean says, because this isn't just money. This is an investment in you, in your future, in your music. Elvis is crying now, really crying. Why? Why are you doing this? Dean smiles. Because once upon a time, someone helped me. When I didn't believe in myself, they believed. And now, I believe in you. And one day, you'll believe in someone else too. Elvis holds the envelope, his hands trembling. I'll pay you back, I promise. You won't pay me back, Dean says. You'll pay it forward, to someone else. Deal? Elvis nods. Deal. Dean leaves. Elvis is left alone. But this time he feels different, because he's not alone anymore. He's supported now. Hopeful now. 2 weeks later, Elvis's Las Vegas show. Dean on stage, Elvis on stage, singing That's Amore, together. The crowd standing, applauding, screaming. The show ends. Elvis hugs Dean. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, Dean says. Now go and show the world who you are. Elvis leaves, goes to Memphis, and 3 months later, Heartbreak Hotel hits #1. 1 year later, Elvis is the world's biggest star. But Elvis never forgets. That night, Dean. The lesson he gave. In 1969, Elvis returns to Vegas. International Hotel, his own show. Sold out. On the first night, before Elvis goes on stage, he finds an envelope. In his dressing room, he opens it. Inside is a note, Dean's handwriting. Elvis, it's been 13 years since that night. And look where you are now. I told you. You were going to be the king. I'm proud. But don't forget, keep your promise. Help someone else. Dean. Elvis reads the letter. His eyes fill up. He puts it in his pocket. And that night, on stage, Elvis says something. Tonight, I want to thank someone. I won't give a name because he wouldn't want that. But know this, you gave me life 13 years ago, and I will never forget you. The crowd applauds, Elvis sings, and in the corridor backstage, Dean Martin is standing, listening, smiling, because his mission is complete. Remember, one person, one moment, one help can change everything. Dean Martin proved it to Elvis. And maybe you can prove it to someone too.